All right, today we're going through the most grueling leg workout you can do for a PPL split, and if you make it through this, your legs will never be the same. If. More than likely, you're going to get halfway through, pat yourself on the back, and go home and masturbate, but it's better than most. So as much as I'm looking forward to ruining my life with some of this new equipment, we're not going to use it today for two reasons. First being consistency. That push-pull workout, I use very little equipment, maybe a cable here and there, but for the most part, they're things you could do while you're still living in your mom's basement, waiting for your Doge to skyrocket. The second thing is, there's still a lot of negativity around some of these machines. Like this leg extension, if I have access to one, I'll start every leg day with this exercise. So I need to take time and go over the proper way to do them and help get rid of that stigma. And is there a little bit of risk? Yeah, I don't want to come off abrasive, but what happened to you? You used to face danger head on. I'm sure when you were a young man and the first woman offered to put your penis in her mouth, you didn't hesitate. Even though looking back now at her level of experience, that was a bold move, especially when she smiled and revealed what appeared to be the American Gladiator's gauntlet of braces. And I could pretty much guess what your inner voice said. Fuck it, because it was worth it. And even though you can learn the definition of degloving the hard way, you went for it. And a lot of these machines and exercises that people with small legs tell you not to do are worth it as well. All right, so the way today's going to go is we're going to start out by hitting a very specific part of our legs and then integrate some other muscles to get beat down and then wrapping it up by screwing up the rest of them. But we're starting off with the quads and one of my favorite exercises, no matter what equipment you have, static lunges. And there's two ways you can screw these up. The first way is just being a lazy human and coming up high enough where you can rest at the top. So if you know that about yourself, just use a barbell instead. It's going to limit that range of motion, but these aren't about that. These are about just driving a ton of blood and inducing a lot of pain. The second is putting too much pressure on that back leg. So make sure you tilt slightly forward and make sure that working leg is doing most of the work. And this is where some people will say, why not do a split squat instead, which is a great exercise. But when you fail on those, you're done. You have to sit there and think about how shitty your life is. With these, you can start to recruit that back leg a little bit more and push that working leg beyond failure. All right, now that those quads are a little toasty, let's lean into that and make them even worse by doing a really underrated exercise, step-ups. And a lot of people avoid these, and I assume it's because every time they go visit their grandma, she's got her headband on, and she gets about 5 minutes in on the Reebok step she got from Target before she takes out a chicken pot pie from the freezer and thaws that for a post-workout meal, and nobody wants to be associated with that. But when you do these correctly, they're phenomenal. And the two things to note on these is one, we're not switching back and forth. I don't care what your doctor said about getting your heart rate up. We're trying to hurt ourselves. So stay on that same leg, push it to failure, and then switch. And second, it doesn't matter how high of a bench or box you have. We can exaggerate the stretch by dropping that back leg, increasing the range of motion that quad has to work through. And then when you come up, don't lock it out and sit there. Keep constant tension. So stop a little short, go back down, and just rep it out. And this is where things really start to go south, because now we're doing 3 high rep sets of low bar squats. And if that's not enough, we're going to take that same weight and do walking lunges. If you get through this, something horrible happened to you when you were a kid and you just blocked it out. You're fucked up. And the biggest thing with those low bar squats is that at this point, your quads are done. So don't expect them to help too much. Try to sit at the bottom of the movement, drive it into those glutes, and contract those hamstrings to pull you up. And in terms of the walking lunges, by all means, try to cheat, but it's not going to help because there's no number to hit. You push yourself to failure. Once you tuck it and wave the white flag, you're done, but you don't feel good about it. All right, we got 2 exercises left. And if you're wondering why I'm sitting down, it's because usually before I film these videos, I have to go through the entire workout in the morning to make sure it's something you love and hate as much as I do. So I really don't want any part of this right now. I want to go home and eat a box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch and fall asleep taking a shit. So to make sure nothing gets neglected, we're going to finish with dumbbell stiffs. So make sure you really push that stretch, but maintain a flat back. So you can even let those dumbbells drift out in front of your feet. And then as you contract up, we're only coming up 3/4 of the way, because last thing you want to have happen is it jumps into your lower back and your back says, not today. And last but not least, we're going to grab a plate and do some unilateral calf work, because I think the angle you contract that calf up on matters. It also allows us to do some anterior tibialis work. So it's going to fuck the whole thing up. And like I said before, if you haven't checked out the program, I'll leave a link in the description. It's 30 days, 20 videos, $20. Really, there's been 15,000 people that have self-identified and said, I'm a little messed up. And if you made it through a majority of this workout, it's probably you too. And if you missed the push or pull of this PPL split, I'll leave the links to those 2 videos. And most importantly, subscribe, flick that little clitoral bell because the algorithm likes that. and get after it, get growing. Talk to you soon.